Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
An electronically monitored man becomes the country's latest murder victim. A woman leads police on a high-speed chase that ends in gunfire. The Attorney General demands an apology from a former F&M chairman. Plus, government officials tour a new hotel on Paradise Island. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Top news tonight, nearly 8 months after his father was murdered in Mason's Addition, a 23-year-old man being electronically monitored by police was gunned down as he was standing outside a home off McCullough Corner. This latest killing brings the country's murder count for the year to 94. Vonik Toot has the details.
Police say the man, believed to be in his early 20s, was standing in front of this white truck on Burial Ground Corner around 8 this morning when two men walked up and opened fire on him. It's the third murder in 4 days. Consumed with grief, this woman attempted to run to the victim's body as it was being loaded into the back of a hearse.
No, Jesus,
Head of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll said the victim, who was wearing an ankle bracelet, lived in the Mason's Addition area and was shot multiple times.
The male was standing here in the yard next to the white truck when persons unknown approached him. We believe at least two persons were together. One of them produced a handgun and began discharging shots in his direction. He ran and collapsed.
Roll says a man who was on bail for a firearm-related offense died in front of a nearby home. We understand he is Arlington Butler Jr., the son of Arlington Lynx Butler, who was murdered in Mason's Addition on December 28, 2014. We asked the CDU chief if police are concerned about the number of people being murdered upon their release from prison.
We've seen some of that, and I think far too many instances.
Roll says police are determined to catch those responsible for this latest murder.
At the time when this incident occurred, there were a number of persons out in the yard, and they may have seen the persons that did this actual shooting. We believe he is known to them, and we make that appeal to them to rat him out. Let us know who he is so that he can have his day to answer to this.
Butler is the third person to be murdered in the Bahamas in 4 days. On Tuesday, a man was stabbed to death during a domestic altercation in an apartment complex on Blue Hill Road South. The day before that, BTC employee Jamal Hyler was gunned down while purchasing breakfast at a roadside stall off Farrington Road. However, the CDU chief said authorities are doing all they can to keep Bahamians safe.
I think Nassau is a safe place. We are always concerned when we have these murders that are occurring, and I can't stress enough to persons to utilize the criminal justice system to settle their disputes.
This latest killing brings the country's murder count for the year to 94. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonik Tood.
A woman led police on a high-speed chase from Augusta Street to Wolf Road and East Street this morning. resulting in officers firing several shots at her moving vehicle. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean said officers attempted to get the woman to stop the vehicle, which was heavily tinted and looked suspicious. He said though the silver Honda Accord was riddled with bullets, the woman was not injured.
The preliminary reports are that the police were in the Augusta Street area when they saw a suspicious gray vehicle, and the police ordered the vehicle to stop. The vehicle refused to stop due to the suspicious circumstances. Police there was engaged of gunfire. So we are at the preliminary stages. We do know that a female was in the vehicle and she was taken to hospital. At this point, we don't have no report of any major injuries to her.
Officers were seen escorting the woman from the back of a police vehicle and into an ambulance. Minutes later, her vehicle, which had flat tires and bullet holes on the side and back window, was removed from the scene. When asked if a firearm was found in the woman's vehicle, Dean would only say their investigation is still in the preliminary stage. However, he did say the high-speed chase is not connected to this morning's murder in Mason's Addition. He warned motorists that if police order you to stop, you should stop.
The police are actively on the streets of New Providence, so there are going to be some discomfort at different times. That police have to do road checks, police have to do vehicle checks, and so because of what is happening in our country, and so we want to say to persons too who might be in possession of firearms, illegal drugs, police will continue to pursue you because most of our instances are being used with firearms. So police will continue to target those offenders who ride our streets with vehicle. There are a number of persons riding the streets with vehicle with firearms inside these vehicles. So the police will continue to seek them out and bring these persons to justice.
Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson has called on former Free National Movement Chairman Darren Cash to apologize for intentionally misleading the public when he accused her of multiple conflicts of interest in relation to Baha Mar. Today, Cash responded to the Attorney General, saying that she should not hold her breath waiting for that apology and asserting that everything he said was the truth and the truth needs no apology. Simone Davis reports.
Cash says it serves him no satisfaction to engage in a public spat with the Attorney General, but he still believes that she should remove herself from any and all negotiations between parties in the Baha Mar dispute.
I join with the numerous members of the legal community who have drawn the same conclusion, that a conflict exists and that the correct place for the Attorney General to be is absent. Her arrogance and selfishness have now exposed her record of questionable judgments to the international community, and they have opened them up to international scrutiny.
On Tuesday, Cash said the Attorney General has a very clear and undeniable conflict that should have excluded her from any leading role regarding Baha Mar. Maynard Gibson recently led 2 government delegations to Beijing, China for negotiations between Baha Mar and its Chinese partners. Cash also revealed that the Attorney General's law firm Gibson and Company represented Baha Mar CEO Sarkis Merlian on several occasions between 2001 and 2005. In a statement released on Wednesday, Maynard Gibson accused Cash of intentionally seeking to mislead the public and said he should apologize. This was his response.
As far as I'm concerned, the Attorney General would be taking her health in her hands if she holds her breath waiting for some kind of apology.
Cash also pointed out Maynard Gibson's family's interest in the mega resort. The former Free National Movement chairman said after reading Maynard Gibson's most recent statement, it became evident that she has no proof to refute the claims.
The stack of legal documents before me speak very clearly to the extent to which the relationship existed between her company before she became a member of the Christie government, and obviously since she became a member of the Christie government. And as far as the comments in the newspaper today, I have seen nothing that speaks specifically to refute the charges that are contained in these legal documents.
Cash highlighted a number of missteps on behalf of the Attorney General, from the handling of the Rubis oil spill where the government withheld information from Marathon residents to the investigation into allegations of judicial interference in Mayaguana. He said these are just a few of the issues to show that the Attorney General is just an activist and cheerleader for the Christie administration.
The truth hurts. That's the first point that I will make. But in addition to that, this is a activist Attorney General. This is a cheerleader for the Christie government. That is the only way to explain, one, the rather disgraceful way in which she has unsolicitedly gone out and providing her salutes to the Christie government, to her colleagues. She's bent over backwards to try and make life easier for them.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
With a murder count of 94 and an already increasing mortality rate, officials at the Department of Statistics have expressed concern at the rising number of men dying from external causes, like murder. Kyle Joaquin has a look at the numbers.
It's no secret that there are more females than males in the Bahamas, as is the case in so many other countries around the world. But what officials at the Department of Statistics have found alarming is the increasing number of males, particularly young Bahamian males, that are meeting an early death, and not for health reasons. Usually, in developing countries, the mortality rate decreases as the nation progresses. But in the case of the Bahamas over the past decade, there has been an increase of 15%, meaning more people are dying. A major contributor is the number of Bahamian males dying from causes unrelated to health, like murder. Chief Census Officer at the Department of Statistics, Coralie Mackey, says the numbers show that the life expectancy of males in the Bahamas has plummeted.
This basically is mainly due to a lot of the external causes and domestic homicides of the males, okay? Proportionately, the males really, their life expectancy has really plummeted. We don't have any control on it. You understand what I'm saying? And for such a small nation to have our mortality increasing like this with such a small population is serious.
The biggest age bracket showing an increase in deaths is men between the ages of 25 and 45. Despite that statistic, though, the Bahamas' population is still growing. For 2015, it was projected at 351,000. By the year 2020, the population is projected to be 389,000, with there still being more females than males. For every 100 males, there are 4 more females. Life expectancy for men is said to be age 71, and for women, 76.8 years. Women have generally outlived men for many years, and according to the Department of Statistics, that trend is expected to continue for decades. At birth, there are more males than females, but as time goes on, females begin to outnumber males. And here's why.
Females tend to take better care of themselves. They tend to do their regular doctor visits, whereas the macho men tend to, only go to the doctor if something is wrong. But females are more into preventative measures, more so than men.
Also concerning for the department, the infant mortality rate. There are 15 deaths to 1,000 babies born.
Which for us, we still consider high. It's lower than most countries in the Caribbean, but it's still higher than we would like to see it, seeing that all the measurements that have been put in place. So that can be lowered, and effort is being made to lower it.
Over the next few decades, the number of people reaching 65 years and older will also increase, which, according to Dorset, should be a signal for more programs to be implemented for the elderly.
And that has serious implications for development in terms of making provisions for the elderly, both in terms of medical provisions, because their medical needs are totally different from you and people of working age and babies. It also in terms of pensions.
Officials will release the latest labor force statistics tomorrow. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.